Are you tired of frozen fingers, glue that won't flow, and tools that refuse to cooperate? Winter woodworking can feel like an uphill battle, especially in an unheated garage in Wisconsin. But don't worry, I've got you covered. Stick around and I'll show you how to conquer the cold, keep your projects on track, and maybe even have a little fun while doing it. Let's dive in. Problem number 1, your workspace is freezing. First up, and probably the most obvious, it's cold. Shocker, right? But seriously, nobody wants to work out in their shop when they feel like a popsicle. The most obvious solution? Heat the space. Small space heaters or propane heaters can make a world of difference. Just remember, warmth is great, but safety is better. Don't block airflow and never leave it running unattended. Quick tip, add a thermometer to your shop to keep tabs on the temperature and a carbon monoxide detector to make sure the air is still safe. If levels get too high, be sure to ventilate the space, turn off the heater, and take a break. Problem number 2, warm clothes can sometimes compromise safety and dexterity. Here's the deal. Dressing for the shop can feel like a balancing act. Too little and you're freezing, and too much and you're basically useless. The solution? Wear layers that are warm, but let you move freely. Be sure to either wear tight-fitting sleeves or pull them up. You don't want loose-fitting clothing getting caught in a spinning blade. Otherwise, staying warm won't be your biggest problem anymore. And gloves? Go for ones that are designed for dexterity. However, when working around spinning blades, I would still take them off. The concrete is very cold, so this isn't a good time for shop flops. You should go with some nice insulated work boots instead. Sometimes I even just wear my winter boots. These are nice because I can slip them on and off very quickly. And finally, keep your head and ears warm with a good hat. Problem number 3, tools can behave funny when it gets really cold. Have you ever had your tools act like they're staging a protest? Cold weather can mess with motors, belts, and even metal parts. For example, my planer doesn't feed in the wood as well when it's cold. This is because the rubber rollers get hard, making them less grippy. The space heater should help a little with this problem. As far as the other tools, try to keep all the moving parts lubricated with a good cold weather lubricant, and give motorized tools a minute to warm up before jumping in. It's kind of like stretching before workout, except less painful. Ouch. Problem number 4. Glue and finishes do not like the cold. The cold isn't just annoying, it can ruin your glue and weaken the glue joints. Most wood glue doesn't perform well below around 40 to 55 degrees, and they recommend storing it between 50 and 80 degrees. Also, it's good to know that wood glue can survive about 10 freeze-thaw cycles. Just warm it back up, stir, and reuse. All wood finishes perform a little differently in the cold, and some are just unusable. The solution? Store your glue and wood finishes in a warm place when you're not using them. And if you need to work with them in the shop, try using a heated cabinet or even setting them near your heater for a bit, but not too close. You don't want to melt the bottle and have something flammable catch fire. That's just a bad time. When finishing something in the cold, you may want to select a finish that can handle being applied in the cold. I would suggest an oil-based finish like oil-based stains, wiping varnishes, shellacs, and spray lacquer. Problem number 5, wood changes with temperature. Fun fact, cold weather can make your wood warp, crack, or just misbehave. It can also make joints that are tight, not so tight. That's no fun at all. In fact, why did I even say fun fact? The solution? Always acclimate your wood for 24 to 48 hours before you start working. It's like letting your coffee cool. It saves you from getting burned later. Also, wood shrinks and grows as the temperature changes. So the closer the wood is to the temperature where your finished product will live, the better. Problem number 6, your shop is super drafty. If your shop is more drafty than cozy, you're in for a long winter. But don't worry, this one is fixable. The solution? Seal those gaps and install some insulation. Fill the gaps with caulking, expanding foam, weather stripping, or even some heavy curtains. It's a quick and affordable way to stop the drafts and keep the heat in. But long term, you're going to need some insulation. And then you'll want to cover it up with some drywall or some plywood for fire safety. Also, don't forget to blow in some insulation in the attic. If you have a garage door in your shop and it isn't insulated, I highly recommend insulating it. You should also have weather stripping all the way around it. Problem number 7, staying motivated in the cold. Let's be honest, sometimes the biggest problem is just not wanting to be out here at all. Break your tasks into small, manageable chunks. Batch similar jobs together and reward yourself by going inside and having some hot cocoa, or whatever keeps you going. And there you have it, your winter survival guide. From heating your shop to keeping your tools and materials in line, these tips will help you stay productive even when it feels like the North Pole. Got your own winter woodworking hacks? Drop them in the comments. And if you found this helpful, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss my next video. Until then, stay warm, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.